Luma Island, the epic adventure game, is out now on PC via Steam, so get prepared for the amazing journey ahead with some useful tips and tricks. Hello friends, welcome back to my channel. I'm Sarah Sunstone, and today we have a brand new episode of Wish I Knew, the show where I give you tips, tricks, how-tos, and spill secrets about all of our favorite games. In this episode, I will be sharing 10 beginner tips and tricks to get you started in Luma Island, including how to pick your starting profession and even how to find your first Luma eggs. Please go ahead and shine the lovely like button if you find these videos helpful, and make sure you're subscribed with your notifications on for more Luma Island content. Otherwise, without any further ado, let's get right into it. First up, let's go over a few useful settings that can be adjusted to support your gameplay experience before you even start playing. Under Game Settings, there is an Arachnophobia mode that you can turn on or off. If you toggle this on, all of the game's spiders, which are found in the caves, will be replaced with ghosts. In this category of settings, you can also choose if you prefer a 12 or 24-hour clock style to align with your preferences, and you can find an I'm stuck button, which can help you out in emergencies by teleporting your character back to the last checkpoint. But be aware that if you're in multiplayer, it will kick all clients if you're the host, so only use this as a last resort. Under Camera Settings, you can adjust the level of zoom along a slider, which is perfect when playing on a smaller screen for Steam Deck users especially. Finally, under Controls, you can rebind whatever you would like for keyboard and mouse or controller, which is my preferred way to play since it's so comfortable. Next up, let's go over professions, one of the core gameplay mechanics in Luma Island, and how to choose yours for the first time. This will be your primary method of earning money and will give you unique quest lines to follow, along with crafting recipes to make, depending on which one you pick. Your first quest after the tutorial will be to head over to the town hall to visit Herbert and choose from one of 7 unique professions, which are as follows: cook, brewer, treasure hunter, blacksmithing, fishing, jewelry crafting, and archaeologist. The most laid-back professions are cook and brewer, which are both rated at 1-star difficulty, primarily involving growing ingredients and farming on your homestead. If you're looking for a more relaxing profession and enjoy farming, either of these 2 options might be great picks for you. The other profession rated at a 1-star difficulty is treasure hunter, which involves searching for buried treasure around the island and fishing up sunken treasures. So if you love looking for secrets and enjoy a bit of fishing, this would be a great choice. Blacksmithing and jewelry crafting are ranked at a 2-star difficulty level, and both of these professions involve frequent cave trips to gather resources. So you'll definitely want to pick either of these if you enjoy mining and exploring the caves. I would actually personally rank jewelry crafting as being slightly more difficult than blacksmithing, because with jewelry crafting, you'll need to collect lots of different crystals from the mines, an action that almost immediately summons the enemies, so keep this in mind as well. Fishing is the other 2-star profession, and it's pretty self-explanatory. You'll need to catch specific types of fish from various areas around the island to be successful in this profession, so enjoying fishing is a must. However, fishing also requires bait, so you'll be bug catching plenty as well. Finally, archaeologist is the most difficult profession, ranked at 3 skulls. This profession will involve exploring ancient temples and repairing artifacts. Now, when you pick your first profession, don't worry about being locked into one progression path, because you can actually pick up additional professions later on, with your second costing 500 coins, the following costing 10,000 coins, so on, so forth. While you might be eager to become the master of your chosen craft right away, don't be afraid to spend time exploring around the town and your homestead area as much as you'd like. This game has no stamina and does not force you to go to bed at the end of the day, so you can stay up all night without passing out. You can actually gain valuable and useful materials to use in your profession just by finding loot piles like these, which seem to frequently respawn around the world and can be easy to miss. Keep your eyes peeled. As you wander, you'll also come across plenty of treasure chests that offer one-time rewards. The rarity of the treasure inside is indicated by the color of the treasure chest: gray for common, blue for uncommon, purple for rare, and orange for legendary. It also seems that black treasure chests include pirate-themed resources, which will come in handy if you've chosen the treasure hunter profession. Plus, you can even find treasure chests washed ashore at the beach. Another way to find treasure chests, which offer these useful and valuable rewards, is by solving puzzles, which the world is just full of. If you see something that looks suspicious, it probably is. If you see a light, try finding the source of it. If you find one mysterious button, maybe try finding some more. If the color of a tree looks a little off, maybe you're onto something. If a chicken is flying through the air, maybe it's guiding you somewhere. Don't be afraid to interact with the world and take time to solve mysteries, because you will be rewarded. Also keep in mind that your character can't jump, so this thoughtful restriction will also come into play with solving puzzles. For example, if you spot a valuable somewhere or find an area that you don't think you can reach, see if you can find a little hill or passageway that can lead you to higher or hidden areas that could be tucked away behind breakable rocks, grass, or trees. Again, the game really rewards curiosity and exploration, so don't be afraid to try new things and see what happens. When you inevitably gather all sorts of materials from your adventures, don't sell any of them. Here's why. First of all, you're going to need a ton of materials for various projects around the town and your homestead, each of which will offer their own unique benefits and are worth completing. Also, crafting resources will always be more valuable when processed into a profession-based item, for example, a cooked dish or a piece of jewelry. And you might be thinking, but I don't need this specific item for my profession, which could be true now. But what if you decide to take on an additional profession or a friend joins and would be able to turn a larger profit on those materials with the profession they've chosen? Not to mention, there are just much better ways to earn money. Of course, first and foremost by crafting and selling recipe items from your unique profession, but also by selling valuables that you can find organically on your adventures, which are clearly marked in your inventory as sellable loot, such as biome-specific jewelry, meteorite shards, and even amber. Now, with all of those resources you're collecting, you'll definitely want to be crafting new items for your homestead. One of the most useful shops, regardless of your chosen profession, is the blue and white stall found right near the entrance to your farm. This shop offers an excellent variety of blueprints, which can help you raise animals, improve your gardening experience, and more. One blueprint that you'll want to get early on if you're playing in multiplayer is the storage chest. You can collectively organize and easily exchange your items with one another. If you're playing solo, of course, this is also very helpful to neatly organize your supplies. However, you're actually given unlimited inventory space from the very beginning, though you don't need to rush to do this like we often do in so many other games. As you progress your game, there will also be many key items that you'll need to collect, some of which are only purchasable at certain shops. So be sure to familiarize yourself with the different stands around town, regardless of which profession you start out with. Also, be sure to check back at the shops in town as you progress your profession, because over time you will unlock new inventory. And don't worry about memorizing any hours or schedules, because it seems that the shops are always open for your convenience. When you take trips to the town, you'll also want to prioritize upgrading your tools, because otherwise you're going to struggle with collecting more valuable resources, which, while still possible with weaker tools, will take a significant number of hits and will slow down your progress. In Luma Island, you can upgrade your tools whenever you'd like by visiting the anvil in town right near the entrance to your farm. Each upgrade requires money, tool tokens, a variety of spirits, and either metal bars or leather, depending on the tool. Tool tokens can be purchased, however you can find plenty from looting and discovering treasure. You'll also collect tons of the spirits, which each correspond to different categories of actions, like mining, combat, farming, and so on. But in which order should you upgrade your tools? Well, I almost always recommend upgrading your pickaxe first in every game that has one, and Luma Island is no different. The logic for this is the fact that you'll need ore for most of your tool upgrades, so if you upgrade your pickaxe first, it will expedite the process of collecting ore to upgrade the rest. Now, a recommendation that is more unique to Luma Island is prioritizing upgrading your whip. This upgrade is relatively easy to do because instead of metal bars, you will need different types of leather, which are crafted from mushrooms that can easily be collected from the world. This upgrade is really helpful for defending yourself from enemies and whipping through cobwebs more quickly. After those two upgrades, I would next go for the axe, since you'll need to collect a lot of wood for various projects you might take on. If you've selected the fishing profession, you'll likely want to upgrade your fishing rod a bit sooner compared with other professions, and I think you can save the hoe for last, regardless of which profession you've chosen. And the best part is that the tool upgrades are instant, so you don't have to wait around and can get right back to your adventures. One other thing I really recommend that you go out of your way to do when you're visiting town is to chat with the NPCs. Not only do they have funny, charming, and well-written dialogue, but perhaps more importantly, depending on your priorities, you'll unlock quests in this way, all of which will provide you with a series of rewards for completing them. One quest that you can start early on is collecting books for Balthazar, who will reward you with tons of furniture blueprints for your homestead with every book that you turn in. Also, once you have a quest from an NPC, you can see exactly where they are on the the map for when you're ready to turn it in. And if they're sleeping, this will also be clearly indicated on the map for your convenience. Now this actually leads us into my next tip, which is to place your efforts into repairing the town as soon as you feel ready. Of course, the town won't initially need repairing until a certain event takes place on day 5, but you'll be so busy getting yourself established on your homestead in the first few days anyway. The extent of repairs range from fixing up benches in exchange for more minor rewards, to building shops that will offer you new inventories of items to purchase. Also, some of the seemingly more minor quests, like those bench repairs, will actually progressively lead into more major quests with bigger projects and thus more valuable rewards. So don't ignore these. Perhaps most excitingly, working on repairs around town will actually lead you to unlocking all new areas on Luma Island. By new areas, I mean entirely new biomes with their own map, unique resources, puzzles, ancient temples, mines, and more to discover. And of course, as the name of the game suggests, there are magical Luma to be found as you adventure. These companions are just so cute and quirky, but they will also spot buried treasure around the island for you to dig up, and will provide you with valuable Luma energy every day, which is an essential for progressing every profession. Ultimately, you can find and collect a large number of Luma, but to find your first, you'll have to visit a mysterious place. In case you're struggling to decipher this cryptic message, here are 2 ways to find your first Lumas very early in game. The first is simply by completing the ancient farm temple, which is found on your homestead right past the main entrance. Completing the run will involve solving puzzles, defending yourself from simple monsters, and avoiding traps. Once you reach the end of the temple, you'll be greeted by an orange treasure chest, which contains a Luma egg. The second early method of unlocking a Luma is by collecting at least 9 tepid offering crystals, which can be found both in the farm area and hidden around the town. These are a bit easier to spot at night since they emit a glowing light, and they can't be sold once collected, so no need to stress or panic about losing them. Once you've found enough crystals, you will head down the beach until you find these farm offering pedestals. Once you place all of the crystals in the offering pedestals, a secret door will open to reveal 3 treasure chests, one of which contains another Luma egg. To hatch these eggs, you will need a blueprint for the Luma incubator, which can be purchased at the blue and white stall. Once you've crafted this, you will first need to create some Luma life, and I recommend using the spirit you either have the most of or find yourself collecting the most of, depending which actions you engage in most frequently. From there, you combine the Luma life with the Luma egg, and there you go. You've successfully hatched your first Luma. Is it cute? Or is it cursed? Well, there you have it, friends. Those were at least 10 tips and tricks to get you started on your Luma Island adventures. Let me know which of these tips was most helpful for you, and if you're having just as much fun as I am with this amazing game. Anything and everything, you know I always love hearing from you. And with all that being said, thank you so much for watching. I love you all, and until next time, take care.